We've always known from the beginning that it was going to be a very tough, especially since we're building from the ground up. The other thing is, with the restructuring of the competitions, we initially thought it was going to be under 18s in first grade, then Football New South Wales upped the age group to under 20s. So we've got a very, very young squad with the majority of the players that could have played under 18s. So we knew we were going to be up against it. But in saying all of that, the girls did very well. They worked together and they competed, which is what our expectations were from the beginning. And we ended up getting some great results as well. So we were very competitive in the majority of the games. There were some games that blew out against us for various reasons. But even in the top six, we got some good results and won some games against the top six. The goals that we sort of set for the season is basically, it's been more of a 3-year plan rather than get straight into it. So our goal for the season was to give opportunity to our younger girls and give them as much exposure to senior football and first grade football from the early onset. So I think we've achieved that. So it's now set the expectations for the following years, and it's definitely given us a platform to work on. Now they have an understanding of a 90-minute game and what sort of competition. It's a lot more physical than the Girls Youth League. So the goal was to prepare them for the future, and I think we've achieved that. Yeah, so the goals that weren't accomplished it's just the preparation, I think. We knew it was a long-term plan. So a majority of the girls played under 17 football last year, and it was a shorter game, 80-minute game. Now we moved into 90 minutes. And what I felt is there was a lack of concentration sometimes, and we conceded either very early in a game, very late in a game, or even straight after we've scored, we conceded. And I think a lot of that is due to maturity and the lack of experience and maturity on the field to help guide the players and get them ready for that next job and moving forward. So it's not really a goal. I think it's just as we get more mature, we'll definitely improve and they can understand the expectations of senior football. That's a good question. So we've had greatly affected the last 3 years, so from bushfires to COVID, and this year we've had a lot of floods. So that's delayed Football New South Wales implementation of moving the GCL, Girls Conference League, into the NPL structure. And that really hurt us a little bit because a lot of the players that we had were looking forward to that NPL have moved on. And now, because of the COVID and other various things, we've had a bit of trouble filling our youth league sides. And because of that, we're maybe not getting the better players into our program, and it's sort of cost us. However, there's all throughout the age groups, there's been some standout players which we are looking to develop and further push into our senior squads. We've got a strong local competition as well, so we've got over 1,000 players playing locally, and the girls teams are growing year on year out, so there's great potential. We don't have a girls SAP, which is sort of putting us behind some of these other established clubs because they've got that pathway all the way through, so that's something that we definitely will be looking at and trying to implement going forward. How do we get younger players from 8 to the 13 age bracket prepared for Girls Youth League, and then getting those Girls Youth League into our senior structure. So there's been lots of opportunity for our Girls Youth League players because we've had injuries and in our senior program, So there's been opportunities for under 16s to play in our under 20s, which has been fantastic. And one that comes to mind is the goalkeeper Olivia. We had an early injury to our current under 20s keeper, and Olivia was able to step in and fulfill that role, which has been fantastic for her. And she's also played some first grade games, which is brilliant for Olivia and for the club. So as far as facilities go, we are always looking to improve. Last year we put lights down the back training fields, which has given us a lot more scope. Looking forward to putting some female friendly changing rooms and some meeting rooms. Also looking at upgrading our surface to a hybrid surface, which will give us a lot more game time on that field and have it up to a good standard for the competitions that we're playing in. The biggest challenge that we've had is definitely the numbers in our squad and having that depth to last a 30-round season. So a lot of the girls have gone from 20 rounds at 80-minute matches, now playing 30 rounds for 90 minutes a match, and some of the girls have been playing 2 games on the same day, so it's a lot of football. So with injuries, sickness, COVID, it's really depleted our numbers, and competition for positions each week has not been there. So it's made it very difficult for us to get the consistency and be competitive week in, week out for the entire length of the season. Yeah, sure. So I wouldn't just limit it to 3 players. So I believe personally all the girls have done a fantastic job throughout the season. They've all played for each other, they've all worked for each other. A couple of the older girls coming back into 20s has been fantastic as far as giving guidance and support going forward. As I said earlier in one of the questions, we've had an under 16 girl, Olivia, step up from under 16s, playing week in, week out, and the encouragement that a young girl like Olivia, 16, to the older girls on the field has been absolutely fantastic, regardless of how we're going in the game and the score. So she's always in a positive mood, and she's always encouraging, which has just been phenomenal for the type of football that we want to play. And then you've got others like Ava and Bianca that are forever at the club, either helping in the canteen or doing coffee, also refereeing. It's been a pleasure to be part of this group of young women now, they're becoming women. And the community spirit is there, and they're always there willing to help. As far as playing, the girls all have phenomenally improved over the period of time, and skill-wise, they are very much competing with the other clubs. Yeah, there's been more than 3 games that could have gone our way, and for the main reason, I think maturity and focus and concentration have let us down. So there's been a number of games where we've conceded very early, and when I mean early, within the first 2 minutes, or conceded very late, within the last 2 minutes of the game, or just after we've scored. So there was in the second round and also the first round against Marconi. In the second round we conceded in the last minute. We were 2-1 up and we ended up with a draw. In the first time we played Marconi, we didn't get out of the off the blocks to start with. We conceded 3 early goals. We came back to that game 3-3, and then we lost our concentration again. We ended up losing 5-3. And then a week later we played the Hills. It was 1-1, 1 minute to go, and then we conceded again in that last minute. So again, as we get more mature, we get more leadership. Everybody takes responsibility for leadership of the team, which is a bit hard because when you're talking 16, 17-year-old girls leading older players, that's something that we need to build into. I think definitely going forward, it's something that our plan is there, and I'm sure they'll be able to achieve that. The goal for next season is to continue building what we've started. So hopefully we'll be able to keep most of the girls that were in the program this year. Look at bringing up some of the under 16s that will be capable, and a lot of those under 16s have already played a lot of 20s football, which is definitely a benefit for them. Things that we need to definitely improve on is trying to get a few more experienced players. And that's not only for game day, but also to be part of our training program to mentor and guide these younger players up to that next level. So definitely build our depth is a goal, and continue on what we've started building and keeping a culture at a high level so that the girls want to play here. So I think we've done a fair bit of that this year. So for home games, we've promoted a bit of a bonding after each game, and I believe that that's definitely helping, and we just want to continue building on what we started this year.